Hello and welcome back to the Geek Show. Today we're going to be talking about a bit of Percy Jackson today. I'm going to be your host today, Rose, and with me I've got my very best friend and co-presenter.
We're back for week 3.
I know, I can't believe it's been 3 weeks since we started. Like, we've kind of just eased ourselves back into our, our radio podcast crazy madness sort of thing that we've got going, which is the Geek Show, of course. So we thought today, as well as covering one of the best fandoms that both of us love and support, Percy Jackson.
Support,
yeah, we want our TV show.
Oh, true. It's like, we're welcome to Disney, we want our TV show. Like, banners and everything.
Exactly. I mean, is there a Disney headquarters that we could, protest outside of?
I mean,
probably,
Yeah, probably. There'll be a building.
Yeah, that's where you'll next see us, listeners, on the news.
LA, you'll see us in LA news, probably.
Oh no, we both know we couldn't afford to go to LA right now. We've just not got the time.
Yeah,
right, so we thought just before we got into the Percy Jackson fandom, we'd also just have a quick look at our recent visit to Comic-Con in Glasgow.
Yeah, me and you went on Saturday.
Yeah, it was pretty good, wasn't it? I mean, I can't believe we bought the weekend pass but didn't actually get to use it, which was a bit sad.
It's because I think it was the only ones that were left over when I went on to buy tickets for two of us, because they're usually not the top ticket on the website, and I did check it, they said Saturday. So that's probably why, but it was fine. It was only like £5 more than it.
I mean,
should have been for just one day.
We both tried to wear our bands for as long as possible. Unfortunately, mine was close to disintegrating in the shower, and I kind of wanted to save it.
Oh, mine's on my notice board now.
Mind you, fun fact, you know what happened to me last night with my band?
What?
So I put it on the radiator to dry off because it was a little bit wet. I then went back into the bathroom to get it. It turns out my dad had thrown it away in the bin. What a monster. Don't worry, I did manage to fish it out.
You did not raid the bin.
And it wasn't raiding the bin, it was at the top of the bin, so
I've lost all hope.
It's like the 5-second rule of bins.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing to do.
Just got an image of you just like kneeling on the bathroom floor, just like raiding it.
It wasn't a massive bin, it's a tiny little bin, and it'd been recently emptied, so there was nothing too disgusting in it.
Oh, God.
Right, anyway, back to Comic-Con. Somehow we've got off the topic.
I don't think our listeners want to know about you raiding your bathroom bin, you know?
Yeah, maybe, who knows. So anyway, yeah, we saw some pretty cool stuff there at Comic-Con, didn't we?
Yeah.
There was a full Star Wars, display, which...
There was a whole, Clone Trooper Legion, and there's also a whole Empire Legion. I was like,
we're the good guys for a change,
I know.
Where's the
There's
Jedi?
tons of Mandalorians.
Oh, yeah,
dressed as, the Mandalorian.
It was pretty brilliant,
show.
yeah. And then there was, Boba Fett as well.
There's a Darth Vader that snuck up behind me.
I think we... let me tell you a funny story, listeners. While we were, while I was posing on a Harry Potter broomstick, because, you only live once, our friend, she was so focused on her photography.
I was taking the picture, and he snuck up behind me, and I didn't, but he was, so silent, because I didn't realise he was there until Rose went, Darth was behind you, and I was like, what? And I turned around, and he was literally right at my left shoulder, and I was like, oh my God. I just didn't, hear him.
It was
so
one of these moments. I wasn't too sure if you were just trying to ignore him.
I could not. I didn't hear him at all. If you hadn't said that, I'd probably just given up. I swear I'm deaf sometimes.
I mean, that's just a memory to hold and treasure forever, right? I mean, we also bought some pretty cool stuff at Comic-Con as well. I mean, I think you may have bankrupted yourself, but who knows?
No, I didn't spend that much money. What did I buy? I bought a wee art print. I bought a little Funko Pop thing of looking Grogu,
which I've got to admit is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
It's so cute, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I also bought a wee model Xenomorph, and I may have named him.
Yeah, which I'll admit.
Do you know, I've always wanted a pet Xenomorph. That's what I've got at the Alien films. I want a pet one.
You want a pet Xenomorph?
I want a pet Xenomorph. So if you can't get a real one, you might as well get a model one.
Exactly. I mean, and you saw some pretty cool cosplays as well.
We did, yeah.
I mean, we just mentioned there the Mandalorians, but we also saw this little cute Indiana Jones.
Oh, it was the cutest thing. There was this little girl, I reckon she'd been 6 or 7 at the oldest, dressed Indiana Jones, and her dad was dressed as Indiana Jones' dad. It was, and they were walking around holding hands, and she had a wee toy whip and everything. It was the most adorable thing.
I just pictured that in my head and thought that was the cutest thing I think I saw at the whole.
But I always feel like I'm quite a big nerd, right? I will put my hands up. I am a huge nerd. But then I get to Comic-Con, and I don't know what half the fandoms are that are there.
Oh yeah, there's some really obscure ones.
I suddenly feel like I'm not a nerd anymore.
I know, it's a bit crazy. It's where we go to feel a bit normal, really. It kind of reminds me of when we went to go and see that midnight screening of Star Wars. And I arrived a little bit earlier than you, and it was just loads of people walking around in cosplay with lightsabers, and then it was just me, kind of stood there with my hoodie and jeans, dressed pretty normally.
I literally just had a Star Wars t-shirt and that was it.
I know, we feel pretty inadequate when it goes to Comic-Con.
Yeah, I suddenly, when I go to Comic-Con, I realise I'm actually not that big of a nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't cosplay for starters, so...
It's a bit of a reassurance.
We're more normal people.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've got to say, I really want to start planning our cosplay for when we go in Edinburgh.
Yeah, because we were meant to go to the one in Edinburgh in September.
Yeah.
And then... No, it was October, wasn't it? It was October. And then it got postponed because of COVID.
Yeah.
Literally, we got in a week's notice, but then our tickets got moved forward to this year, so we've already got tickets for this one automatically because we didn't get to go to last year's. So you're wanting to cosplay, aren't you?
Yes, I'm thinking, either Ahsoka, but then that's a lot of red face paint.
Yeah, there's orange. Well, we've got enough orange face paint.
And also, I have a feeling you would probably have a problem with me sitting with all that face paint on in your car.
If I get to use the car, yeah, I'm gonna put plastic over the seats, I'm trying to transport a dead body because you're not putting face paint on the car seat. It's not my car.
So I'm thinking either Ahsoka or the less messy option, which would just be female Jedi.
Yeah, there is that.
But there's lots. The thing is I didn't realise how expensive some of this cosplay could be until you look online. And that's when you kind of realise just how dedicated to their cosplay
some
these people are.
Just
what was it? We ended up talking to a stall which was all about cosplay. And just really interesting conversation. When you imagine going to Comic-Con, you do imagine having all these cool discussions and learning a little bit more about a fandom that you didn't quite know. For example, you ended up in a full 15-minute rant about Scream.
About slasher films I ended up in a discussion about.
Okay, Scream it started off as.
It started off as Scream, because I bought a Ghostface necklace. And then it went on to Halloween. And then I somehow ended up in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, apologies to my parents, but I have seen the recent one. It was a choice. Yeah, I ended up in a full 15-minute discussion with two people about slasher films. I was like, this is not where I thought I'd end up in life, but here we are.
Here we are, exactly.
Here we are.
I mean, there was just lots. And considering it was my first Comic-Con as well.
It's my second one.
It was great, yeah.
It may as well be my first because the last one was 2.5 years ago now. To start first year
of uni, crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Comic-Con, the thing that happens is it's on all over the weekend, so you're kind of, there's no excuse not to go unless you're working, unfortunately, or I don't know.
We also went to some interesting talks.
Yeah, we had the voice actors from Star Wars.
They did Watto, the
flying
thing in Phantom Menace. Yeah, and the person did the body for Maz, and also motion cap, she was part of the motion capture thing.
Yeah, I didn't know they still had that
Rocket.
whole thing.
I knew Rocket was a motion capture.
Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't aware they were doing it for Star Wars.
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but I thought that was actually James Gunn's brother that was doing all the motion capture for Rocket. She
said she did some movement things.
So maybe he was kind of more. I don't know. So maybe she was doing the sort of jumping and climbing sort of stuff, maybe. Because she was kind of the same height as Rocket, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was quite small.
Quite a funny joke, she was she did apply to do the job for R2-D2, and she was like, it's the first job where I've been told that I'm too tall.
Yeah.
And it was it was great. It's really nice to chat to people, and it's the fact that they do come down to the Glasgow Comic-Con, which I would say is probably not very well known.
No, it's usually the Edinburgh one you get. More famous people going.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's encouraging to see that. I was kind of hoping that Ewan McGregor would show up at some point.
Of course you would.
Come on.
Pretty sure he lives in the US.
Does he live in the US now?
I think so.
We must kidnap Ewan McGregor. That's the
alright.
The moral.
Put that into them. I don't
the moral of the story here. We kidnap him. I mean, I think I got very violent during the Comic-Con as well, because we had the R2-D2 that was rolling around, and I was like, right, you distract someone, I will steal the R2-D2.
Yeah, there was legit R2-D2 just trundling about the place. It was quite cute.
I think I actually went home and I looked at how to build my own R2-D2.
No, you didn't.
I did. It turns out it's actually a magazine where you buy it bit by bit. But I have a feeling that's very time consuming,
Oh dear Lord.
Don't judge me, okay? I want my own droid. I mean, I will have a BB.
I would build a droid. I love R2-D2, but I don't know if I'd build my own one.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, so out of interest, what were you wearing for your Comic-Con? Because obviously neither of us were really cosplaying. We were just.
I was just in a Star Wars hoodie and a Doctor Who t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I think I was wearing my the Doctor Who comic skirt thing.
Yeah, Rose was
But
like
I
cosplaying
actually-
as a pile of magazines. If you want to
Excuse
put it that
me,
way.
I got a compliment on the bus on the way home. Like, somebody turned to me and went, "Oh my god, your skirt dress thing is super awesome." And
With
I
that
was like,
accent.
that happened, yes. It was an American accent. I was like, yes.
Well
I
then.
mean, it was nice to just have that, like, I kind of wish I could wear those kind of skirts more often because they're so flowy and luscious, you know?
It was a nice skirt.
It was a nice skirt, and it's because I bought it for the Edinburgh Comic Con as well that I was desperate
Yeah,
to wear.
I bought my hoodie that I was wearing for the Edinburgh one, which is the hoodie that I never take off now. It's just attached to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and it's something different for the day. Like, you go there and you have fun, and there's not really that much judgment.
Well, there was not much judgment at all.
I know. I mean, what we had so hundreds of Mandalorians running around. We had Disney princesses with some of them running around, with some furries running around as well.
Yeah, honestly.
First time seeing a furry, everybody.
I thought I walked into the wrong convention and I was like...
Oh, let me tell you a funny story. When we first actually walked in there, we went to the queue for the Arts and Crafts Festival.
it was quilting competition.
That was
I
happening
felt
at
it was
the same
mostly
time.
middle-aged to like elderly people there, and I just felt so sorry for them having to witness.
Like,
Come
yeah,
on.
all of us just... I mean, thing is, the guy at the queue, he was quite nice. He turned around, I said, "I think you're in the wrong queue."
He
This
probably
is
saw
for the-"
your skirt and my hoodie.
Yeah, he just looked at us and he looked us up and down and went, "They're definitely here for another convention."
Yeah, you two aren't here.
You're
for
not here
quilting.
for the arts
Really?
and
No,
crafts
I
and the
really
quilting.
fancy making my own duvet today.
Yeah, exactly. We should. I made the skirt myself. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up this section quite nicely. You know, so that was
Yeah.
our first Comic Con. Well, first Comic Con for me, second Comic Con for you.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be going to the Edinburgh Comic Con as long as the Rona stays away from our beloved Comic Con. You know,
The Rona. Oh, God.
that's what I'm going to call it. I'm no longer calling it COVID.
just went blank. I was like, the Rona? What are
I
you
mean,
on
I've
about?
got different words now for the pandemic, and you're going to hear them throughout the whole episode because I don't refuse to speak about the pandemic.
Oh, jeez.
Because it just kind of ruined, not my life, that'd be very dramatic, but you know, yeah, so that wraps up this section quite nicely. If you want to hang around and stay around to listen to us talk about Percy Jackson, you're more than welcome to. Please do, we need the views.